So kind as always. Mr. Mark Hunt, for waking up early over in Australia around 6:20 a.m. Eastern time over there. The man is all class, and he is joining us right now on the phone. Mark, are you there?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing,
man. What's going on?
It's good to hear you laugh, Mark. A pleasure as always to talk to you. Thank you. Okay, so there's a lot to discuss, some not so fun things, but I appreciate you coming on to talk about them. How would you describe life right now for you? Is this a dark period? Are you stressed out? With so much going on, all this controversy, how would you describe life right now?
No, life is normal. Life is good. I'm just sitting here chilling with my family. Life's couldn't be much better. I'm not really stressed out about nothing. Like I said, who knows what the future holds? Could be dead tomorrow or even in a minute. Who knows? I'm not worried about shit.
You told me late last week that you have yet to speak to anyone on the UFC from the UFC on the phone about Brock's 2 failed drug tests. Has that changed at all since we spoke?
No.
Wow.
No one's bothered to call me about anything about those cheating motherfuckers. What's the worst thing about this whole scenario is that the UFC don't do shit about it. They're not doing a damn thing about this whole freaking cheating monkeys. And the reason why I'm so upset is not because it's the first or second. This is the third time I've fought someone that's been cheating. And the thing is, there is no compensation. There is nothing. You lose 20% when you don't make weight. Okay? You forfeit 20%. But when you get caught for doping, for sticking needles in your fucking ass, what do you get? Nothing. They don't give you nothing. They just give you here's a 2-year ban. See you later. There's no fines, no nothing. What is going to be changed about this whole thing? There's fighters that's busting their ass to make weight, but when they get caught, they don't get no compensation. So all these cheaters they're just cheating. They just keep cheating. Oh, you know what? I'll just take time off. If I get caught, I'll get busted those 2 years. There's no compensation. There's no incentive for them not to keep cheating. They don't lose no purse. They just get nothing. It's ridiculous. I don't know why things haven't changed. I think if you get caught if you don't make weight, you lose 20%. If you get caught doping, you should lose all incentive of money, everything, and you should be sued. You should be criminally in court for sticking needles in your bum hole and for cheating. So what are these people doing something about it? They're doing nothing about it. People will say to me, Mark, it's been 3 weeks now, the fight's over, you're still complaining? Well, I'm not complaining, I just want something done about it. All these cheating monkeys that follow that piece of crap cheater that, like the rest of these cheaters, they're still talking about it, but I'll go on as long as I want. It's my damn page.
Yeah.
And what upsets me is they think, oh, it's okay to cheat, so we're telling the whole world that our sport are a pack of cheaters and freaking liars, because it's okay to cheat because you don't get no fines, you just get a time off. That's it. So all these young boys and girls that want to be top-end prize fighters, this is what you get. You just need to stick a needle in your ass and you're in.
Mark, have you tried to reach out to the UFC yourself to get more clarity on this whole situation, how he failed a test before the fight and was still able to fight, all that stuff? Have you tried to talk to them?
I reached out there and I've asked what's going on, and they're not doing a damn thing. And the sad thing about it, like I said, is I'm upset because it's not just the first. This is the third time I've had this. The next time I'll probably, I won't. That's why I won't be going to fight in the UFC again. If I go do a fight again and if I get put in a coma or die, what happens to me? Oh well, he already knew. He's already fought 3 cheaters in a row. It was the 4th time he cheated. And before the fight, I said, I said to the, I was assuming he was cheating. Look at him. There's no way that guy makes 265 pounds. The guy's a gimp. He's sticking needles in his ass like the rest of these cheaters. And the thing about that is, he's sitting here saying, oh, this is a fair place. But it's not fair. These guys are cheating, and they should be in court for it. Lose all their money incentive for cheating. Because if I die in there, who's going to look after my family? So look after the guys that are clean in the sport and said, oh, well, who's going to look after the kids? Well, here's your explanation. He signed the waiver. These guys are all clean. That's a crock of shit, man. These motherfuckers should be penalized hard. Dirty, scummy, cheating scum. That's how that monkey won his world title. That's why he came back and said, I got an itch scratch. You didn't do it by doing it clean. You did it by cheating. Just like the rest of you cheaters.
You said after the news came out, the first failed drug test, that you wanted his entire purse or you want to be released from the UFC. It doesn't look like you're going to get that money now. So does that mean you're done with the UFC? Do you not want to fight for them anymore?
Well, at this moment, I don't care what they say. I don't want to be a part of this company unless they do something about this shit. They got to do something about this cheating. It's like the whole roster is cheating. One person gets pinged, another person gets pinged, and there's nothing that they're not doing anything about it. I mean, you tell me what. The next time I go on, if people say this is the purpose, yeah, I understand that. But if you're gonna make it clear, if you're gonna make it a cheating sport, then let's all fucking cheat.
Right.
Let's all cheat. Let's all stick needles in our asses and take the rest of that shit and see who's the first person to die. I mean, shucks, this is ridiculous. I mean, it took years and years for something to be done about that scummy cheater Armstrong. How long is it going to take for something to happen to this sport? Till someone dies and then, oh, let's lay some charges against these cheaters. And you got these freaking... Anyway.
Do you think that USADA and or the UFC knew about his failed drug test on June 28th before UFC 200?
Before the fight? I have no idea, man. To be honest, I don't even know why they gave him an exemption. And if they did, wouldn't they be liable for being sued? For being, for negligence or some sort of shit like that? I mean, shucks. It's like if I just walked into the octagon with a freaking gun or something, right? Because in the end, something bad could happen to someone. Then someone could die because someone's cheating. It's kind of really it's getting too far. Something needs to be done about this. Trying to form a union and get things started is kind of hard. I don't give a rat's what anyone says about what I'm doing. I think I'm not going to fight any more cheaters or people that assume to be cheating. I mean, because they don't care. They just cheat because they have no penalties. There is no penalties for it. I mean, I think they should have a cheating MMA and a non-cheating MMA. Maybe that'll make it a bit fairer.
Yeah, I wonder how many people would be on the non-cheating side. But you'd hope that...
me?
Yeah.
That's one.
That's one.
And there's probably all of them. To be honest, I'm not saying any names, but it kind of stinks at the moment because the cheaters just walk away. They just walk away and there's no penalties. I mean, if they're cheating to make money or cheating for the, they should just take all the intent of the money away. They should be in court for criminal acts because that's what it is. And then maybe it'll deter deter the future of fighting to be doing this sort of rubbish.
So it's
not looking good at the moment for the sport. It looks like there's a bunch of fucking crooks and cheaters in the sport. That's all it is.
On your website, you gave an interview last week, markhunt.tv, and you talked about potentially forming this association. And the comments were, they spoke for themselves. And I'm wondering what kind of feedback you've received from your fellow fighters. Have a lot of people reached out to you? Have others expressed interest in teaming up with you?
Well, there's a few fighters, Nate Quarry, Kang Lee. There's a few fighters just trying to get the right guys on board. I do feel we need all the fighters to get together and behind this because I'm not just talking about my future. I'm talking about the future of themselves and the kids that will look up to us as fighters. I'm looking at the long term of it. I mean, these companies don't give a rat's about fucking us. They just throw you in throw you under the bus like they've been doing to me. Sooner or later, I'm going to run into someone that's going to really put me in trouble. And then what's going to happen about it? Nothing. So I think all these fighters that are listening to this, they should actually get behind this movement, get behind something because, if it's not me, it's going to be one of you. It's time to stand up, stick together, and move forward. These companies, they make nothing without us. They make nothing. The main reason why people watch mixed martial arts and this sport is because of us fighters. Not because these people making freaking money, making tons and shitloads of money and not giving us nothing. So, I mean, trying to form the whole thing is a process. It's hard. A lot of people are restart, but it's got to be done. It's got to be something's got to be done. Whether they change the laws with the doping, and he forfeits all his purse, and he gets put in court or some shit like that. I mean, something's got to be done about it. I mean, I'm not interested in working for a company that just throws you under the bus all the time. You know, it's ridiculous.
And just to be clear, has anyone from USADA reached out to you at all?
No, they don't give a rat's. Ain't none of them give a rat's about it. You know, that's because they're all, to me, they're all fucking cheaters. The whole lot of them. Fuck them.
Are you confident, Mark, that an association, you know, people have talked about this for a long time. Are you confident that it will happen, you know, in the next few years, in the next year or so? Do you, based on what you've learned over the last, you know, week or so, are you confident that this is a feasible thing?
To be honest, I'm confident it'll work. I mean, something's got to change, man. I mean, you just can't keep doing. Sooner or later, some fighter's just going to die, and then if the other guy gets caught doping, it's easy. I think it's going to let that guy walk away. You know, something's got to be made. Something's going to be held accountable for these things. Some things have got to change. Something's got to happen when they say you form a union. I mean, it's only in the fighter's best interest. I mean, I know I've heard a lot of stories about unions, you know, turning and doing the bad thing about it. But you know, if you got fighters on the board, they'll understand how this whole thing works. I think this is only for the fighters to make it better. And I mean, all these people that are trying to get into the UFC or companies like that, what's the point? Why would you want to, you know, I mean, get into the UFC when everyone's fucking cheating anyway? All these freaking guys getting busted for cheating. It's just. Why would you want to do it? You go, hey man, I've worked my ass to get to the top, and I'm the best in my sport. Oh, but your sport's a bunch of cheaters. Oh, okay. You know.
Okay, so
yeah, like all these guys cheating. Like I said before, all these guys freaking cheating. I mean, all their world titles and everything mean nothing. You've cheated to get it. Worthless scum. That's what they are. They're worthless scum. And before I thought, I said, they should give half of their purses. You know, fuck that. Cheaters shouldn't get nothing. They should get nothing.
One thing that I've noticed people say to you over the last couple of weeks is, hey, before the fight, you said that you would knock him out whether or not he was on steroids. Why are you talking about this now? Why are you complaining now? Obviously a ridiculous statement, but what do you want to say to those people?
Well, to those people, you know, I mean, assuming someone's on the gear and getting told that this is a clean sport is totally different from knowing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm always going to say I'm going to knock someone out. I don't care if he's doing this and that. I'll knock your face off. I'll say it all the time. I don't give a rest. But, you know, you have an assumption about someone cheating, and, you know, there's no way that white monkey's going to make fucking 265. There's no freaking way. He was far larger than I was, and I had to struggle to make weight. And then I mean, when he actually gets called doping for it, everyone throws me under the bus. Well, you know what, motherfuckers, fuck you. You can all kiss my ass. This is fucking, these fucking cheaters should fucking go and die. Die in a fire. A whole lot of them.
I know you've been around this fight game a long time. Could you tell that something was off with Brock? Like when you were fighting him, did he seem stronger? Was he different than the kind of opponents that you fought in the past? I mean, the non-cheating ones, as you put it. I mean, did something just seem weird about the fight from your perspective?
You know, to be honest about the fight, I'm not even sore about the loss. I mean, every loss I take, I accept it and I move on. You know, with that loss, it was just one of those things. I already gave credit to Brock after the fight when I lost. But, you know, when I found out, there was nothing special about him. I mean, shucks. At the end of the day, he wrestled me and put me down and won the fight. I have no problem with that. But, you know, if you did it by cheating, then you shouldn't get any praises or anything. I mean, they even gave him my spot, my number 8 spot. I mean, shucks. You honestly going to give a cheater a fucking spot? It's ridiculous. What the hell?
Yeah,
there's nothing special about him. I mean, for someone that's using so much gear, there's no way he could even finish me. I mean, if I was gearing like him, his head would have come off. I would have punched his head through the whole freaking octagon. It's ridiculous.
Did you hear what he said about Jon Jones, saying that it was unprofessional before the fight, and then this comes out? Did you see the irony in those comments?
Well, it just makes me laugh because, I mean, you know, that makes me laugh because I mean, that's how he won his world title. He stuck a needle in his poo chute, and that's how he won his title. People say, "Oh, Mark, it doesn't help you." Well, then if it doesn't help you, why do it? You're that scared of losing. I mean, shucks. I mean, it's funny that one cheater calls out another cheater and says, "Oh man, that's really unprofessional." What the hell does that make you? He's a fucking hypocrite. And the sad thing about it, these companies aren't doing anything about it. You know, me saying these things and trying to form a unit, all these things. Well, at the end of the day, we all got to make sacrifices. And mine's coming up to the end soon. I don't give a rat's about working in the UFC anymore because they don't do anything about it. They don't do nothing about it. So all these kids listening to this, watching this, you're wasting your time trying to get into these companies because they don't give a rat's about you. They just throw you under the bus.
What bothers you more, Mark? The fact that he fought after failing this drug test and all that, or the fact that no one has actually called you on the phone from the company that you work for to talk about this? What
upsets me about that is I'm just thinking maybe they knew. Did they know about this? Is that why they're not doing anything about it? Did they give this fucking fool an exemption for 4 months because they knew about this? So that means for surely that they knew about this, they don't give a rat's about any of us. They say, "Hey man, we'll get this fucking juiced up freaking monkey going here and then go and fight with this guy." I mean, shucks, if people say he should have a rematch, I wouldn't want to waste my time with that. He's rubbish. And they say he beat you. Well, if he didn't stick a needle in his ass, then maybe it would be different. I mean, shucks, if you got a stick needle in your ass to try to compete, you must be really scared of losing. I think it's a time that unity needs to be formed. And all these fighters need to get together because, I mean, we're sending the wrong messages. The message we're sending out to all these people that are watching the sport is, oh, man, you can get away with fucking anything. You just, to make it in the UFC, you stick a needle in your ass and they'll give you millions of dollars if you make it to the top. That's as easy. They'll even give you an exemption for 4 months. And not only that, they'll give you your own press conference. The fool had his own press conference and made everyone wait for his own press conference. What a joke.
Would you be comfortable, Mark, with if this doesn't get resolved and you have to walk away, would you be comfortable leaving on that note? Would that bother? I mean, would that sit with you the wrong way for the rest of your life, leaving like this?
It doesn't sit wrong with me because, like I said, I mean, people are scared of forming unions because the company's going to get upset. Man, fuck the company. They don't give a shit about you or anyone else. If I walk away now, like I walk away now, I don't care. I walk away knowing that I haven't cheated to get in the spot, haven't cheated to I can keep my head held up high and say, I might have to make a lot of different sacrifices, change the way things are, but then so be it. That's fine. At least I knew that I went to the top, and all you find at the top is dirty, fucking scummy cheaters. And a company that's going to help them do it. Yeah, here's some needles, stick it in your ass.
And
I'll be comfortable with that. There's no way I even worried about this. I mean, when you get told it's a clean sport, and people are the testing are doing this and that, that's fine. You're doing all the testing, but what penalties are these monkeys giving them? They're not giving no penalties at all. USADA, fucking NASA, whatever the fuck they are. What penalties are they giving? Nothing. They're just saying, oh, hey, we caught this guy busted and cheating. He has to give us all his money. Why the fuck did you get it? Why should they get that shit?
Yeah.
I mean, they're not the ones that lost. They're not the ones that had their brand go down. I mean, I didn't say anything when I lost. When I beat the other two guys that I fought while they were cheating, and probably the rest of the other cheaters that I fought. But at the end of the day, I mean, enough's enough. I mean, sooner or later, something bad. I mean, the first fight I had with Bigfoot, I broke my hand in 2 places.
Yeah.
The fight against Frank Mir, I mean, I had a broken nose going into that. But, I mean, it was a quick fight. And I was like, you know what? It's over. I mean, he got busted. Can't agree with you. What's a fucking joke? It couldn't be, it couldn't be like a pattern right here going here. Third time, this other goofball comes in. And you know what? I'm glad I lost the fight. I'm actually really glad because if I had probably won the fight, I would have said, yeah, he's cheating. All right, that's fine. I go to the next guy. And then probably if I got hurt in that fight, I'd say, hey, man, what's going on here? It's the fourth guy having fun that's on freaking roids. And then sooner or later, I'm thinking, maybe I should go and stick a needle in my ass so I can compete with these motherfuckers. Anyway, that's how I feel. It's just annoying about the whole thing. UFC hasn't even reached out or said nothing to me.
Wow. That is crazy.
They're just waiting for something to say, you know what, okay. That's in his contract. He can't do that. Let's send him a firing message. We'll fire his ass. Well, fuck your firing. I don't give a shit. Just stick your cheaters up your ass.
Is that
just go and get a job like the rest of the people? You don't get a job and say, you know what? Fuck that company is shit. They're fucking worthless scum.
Mark, if they say to you now, we're going to give you some money, you know, we're going to try to make this right, is it too late in your opinion, or would that make you happy?
What I would like to be done here is, what are they going to do about it?
Yeah.
Are they going to put in a law so everyone else that gets caught doping gets penalized? They need to do something. They have done nothing. They need to put in place, all your money goes and you're going to go to court for cheating. That's what they need to do. That is what they need to do to change things away. All these cheaters are getting away with it. You know, they're going, and they could seriously injure someone and someone could die. Someone could die, and what will happen? Nothing will happen. Because it ain't happening now. So if the message they're sending to the whole world, to the younger kids and the people that want to get into the sport at the top end, is they're condoning cheating? Well, then why don't you make it a cheating competition? And then just make it legal. They don't want fucking stick needles in their ass. Let's call it the sticking needle in your ass in the poo shoe competition and say he's the craziest motherfucker out there.
Has this whole incident changed the way you feel about MMA in the sense that, like, do you feel like your love for the sport is going away, that you don't care for it like you used to? I mean, I love fighting and all, but it's just not fair. You can't compete when the guys are cheating. Yeah.
It's like someone going in with a gun. I mean, imagine if I started cheating is using gear.
Yeah.
You would think if I went and maimed someone, do you think they'll think it's fair? No, they'll say, well, he was fucking doping. Well, okay, I was doping. Okay, give me 2 years off. Then what? That's it. Nothing happens. His kids go without food. His kids go without a provider. Then what? I mean, I understand there's the hurt business, like I said before, but on an even playing field. I got into this because it's an even playing field. Like, you know, we're doing the right thing on an even play. We're not injecting ourselves and enhancing ourselves to try and murder someone, because in the end we're trying to kill each other, but without enhancing our shit. I just think, you know, he needs to be made an example of. All these cheaters need to be made an example of. You know, these people that they do it for profit, money, whatever it is they do it for, they need to lose it all. And the fact of the matter is, they say, oh, well, what about us? We said, well, who told you to stick a needle in your fucking poo shoot? You dirty ass scum. Who did? No one.
Are you considering legal action, Mark?
I will. I will consider it. You know, I mean, these guys got to do something about it. You know, I think they got enough money. They made enough money off everyone's fucking blood to do something about this shit. You know, I'm sick of, and I don't want to be sitting here or be a part of a company that does that, just let that happen. You know, fuck that. You do something about it. You've got enough freaking financial gain from it. Do something about it. I mean, shucks, and people. The worst thing about it is I get, you know, flack from all these freaking nut-hugging scumbags, steroid-using monkeys saying, get over it. I don't want to get over it. Why would I want to get over it? So the next time I go into fight, I get maimed or injured. Are you going to look after my family? No. Well, then you get over it. Dummy cunt.
In a perfect world, Mark, what would you like to see happen here? Like, what's the perfect scenario, the perfect outcome to this mess?
The best outcome for this is if the company that I work for says, you've been cheating, you lose all your financial incentive for cheating, and you get fined. You get sued, and you get fined. You go straight to court, criminal court. Because what you've done is an offense. That's what I want done. So that these guys that are cheating don't have more incentive to do it, because they do it for financial gain, they do it to win, they do it to this. But if you take all the way, they get nothing. You know, make them banned for 5-10 years. There goes your career. 5-10 years, you have no career left, and not only that, you lose all your money. You're done as a fighter. That'll stop you from doing it. That's what I want to see done.
And just for the record,
I won't.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I won't be part of any company that that say they have, you know, we don't mind you cheating or doing this or that. Otherwise, then every monkey will be on it.
And if that doesn't happen, you're not fighting anymore for them, right?
No. I'll go work somewhere else. You know, I mean, like I said, I don't give a shit. If we got to sue their asses, well, then fuck you, you're getting sued. You scummy cunts, you think. I mean, the problem is everyone thinks, hey, man, I want to get you into the UFC. Fuck the UFC. You're shit. You motherfuckers don't look after nobody. You just go, here, throw this motherfucker, this freaking stupid fucking Samoan under the bus, and they don't get the best in front of the whole world, and we'll let this fucking white piece of shit fucking sticking needles in his ass and say, oh, let him cheat all the way to the fucking bank. Let's give him fucking millions of dollars and don't worry about this motherfucker. You know, fuck that and fuck your shit company. Take that to the fucking, look at that for a contract. You can sue me on that, motherfuckers.
And Mark, physically after the fight, are you okay? Any serious injuries?
No, there's nothing wrong with me. But, you know, like I said, like I said, they've done about it, but fuck that.
Okay. Is there anything else you feel like you want to say about this before I let you go back to your kids and start your day off right?
I think something needs to be done about this. You know, there's a bad example that they're sitting here for these freestyle fighting, or these boys and girls that are watching this, and there's, you know, I'd probably be the one that's going to fall on the sword and not walk away. That's I understand that, I get there, but you know, for the rest of you fighters and all these kids that are listening to this, I mean, when it's your time to come and complain about it, you've heard somebody already say before you. There's already been someone here saying there's something got to be done about it, and I think until someone probably dies, then what's going to happen then?
Appreciate you coming on, Mark. Really, really thank you, and I hope this works out for you. I hope everything works out. I'm sorry that this has happened to you and that you've been put in this position. I hope it starts with a phone call at least from either USADA or the UFC. Thank you, Mark. I really appreciate it.
All right. Yeah. All
right. We'll talk to you soon. There he is, Mark Hunt. Hate to hear him like that. We've had him on this show numerous times, and quite often a happy-go-lucky, somewhat jolly figure, and it's started that way, but you can certainly understand where he is coming from. You can understand his frustration, and I think it starts with a phone call at least, some open line of communication being established. I think that would go a long way, and I hope that he is at least able to ask some of those questions to the important people. And I know there is a process that needs to be played out, and I know that Brock is owed a due process. He has not been officially suspended by USADA or the UFC for that matter. So that is important to note in this situation, but you can feel and hear the frustration oozing out of that telephone, right? Halfway across this world, on a Tuesday morning in Sydney, Australia, Mark Hunt appears to have had enough. And I have never heard him like that. I don't think I've ever heard anyone on this show like that. And you certainly sympathize with him. He was in there with someone that he believes was cheating. How do you deal with that? You got. This is an interesting sport. So I started off this week talking about that it was fun to talk about fights this weekend and results and interesting results and upsets, big wins, things of that nature, fun debuts. Unfortunately, we end on that note, but that is the reality of mixed martial arts in 2016. It is an evolving sport. It is a somewhat dirty sport. It is a sport that is trying to be cleaned up. I do believe that, but we go back to that line uttered by the soon-to-be former CEO of the UFC, Lorenzo Fertitta, at that press conference announcing the historic USADA deal. It is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. He never obviously laid out just how bad it will get. None of us know. Hopefully it doesn't get worse than this. Hopefully it doesn't get worse than arguably one of the biggest names in the UFC speaking like that. Hopefully it doesn't get to the point that someone does get seriously injured. And it can happen. And we can talk all day about, no data here and no scientific evidence there. You can't tell me that using PEDs even though there is no history of a serious injury or death in the UFC, you can't tell me that using PEDs is not a bad thing, is not a thing to be worried about. You can't tell me that. You just can't. And that's why we all applauded the UFC for linking up with USADA, and that's why we all welcome this new era. And there are some growing pains. This is a growing pain. For a guy to potentially test positive on June 28th and then fight on July 9th just doesn't pass the smell test. And people talk about the time difference, the delay in getting the results. Well, do the math. June 28th, July 9th. That's 11 days, right? Then we find out last Tuesday, which was July 19th, that Brock tested positive or potentially failed his second drug test on July 9th. That's 10 days. Oh, by the way, the result, I screwed up. June 28th was the first test that he potentially failed. Those results came back on July 14th, officially announced on July 15th. So let's say 14th. That's 16 days. Came back 16 days later. If he failed another one on July 9th and it gets announced on July 19th, potentially results get back on July 18th, that's what? 9 or 8 days. Had they gotten the results back from the June 28th test 9 or 8 days later, that would have coincided with before UFC 200. You see what I'm saying? So anyone saying that they can't get the test back in a timely manner before the fight, I'm just not buying it. There's too much money. There's too much at stake. There's lives at stake. There's health at stake. There's reputations at stake. You got to figure out if you're going to go through the trouble of doing random out of competition drug testing, you have to make sure that the tests come back beforehand, before the fight. You just have to make sure of it. There's got to be a way, because it's a futile mission. Sure, you pop the guy afterwards, you find out. There's something to that. I see the value in that. But if we're going to go through the trouble of locating these guys all around this great world, you got to get those results beforehand. There just has to be a way, in my opinion. Any final thoughts, New York Rick?
I am definitely not about to follow that one up. That's a walk-off.
That is a walk-off from a man who knows a thing or two about walk-offs, right?
I mean, there... I put 100 flame emojis on Twitter, and that's what it was. I mean, he came out guns blazing.
Yeah. Perhaps, yeah, you can't be all that surprised. All right, well, that does it for this show. What a way to end. We made a habit out of some pretty memorable end-of-show interviews. Mark Hunt's no different. You can hear my music. Another big week of MMA is upon us. As I mentioned, Invicta returns on Friday. Is it Friday? New York Rick, you going there? He's gone. He went to bed. I think it's Friday.
You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
I will be in Kansas City. Friday night event. It's
Friday night event on Fight Pass. World Series fighting back on Saturday on NBCSN, but the big one, of course, is UFC 201 in Atlanta, Georgia. Tyron Woodley finally gets that crack at the UFC welterweight title. You know, the knock on Woodley throughout his career has been that he can't win the big one, right? He's had some opportunities. It felt like he exercised those demons against Carlos Condit, had the slip up against Roy McDonald, but is this his opportunity? It certainly looks like it is. Is this his opportunity to finally win the big one? Tyron Woodley versus Robbie Lawler. Does this Robbie Lawler story, this amazing story that no one saw coming, does it continue post-Saturday? We'll be talking about that next Monday on the show. For now, we say goodbye. Thank you very much to Juliana Pena for stopping by. Great stuff from her. Thank you very much to Mackenzie Dern for stopping by. Congratulations on her successful MMA debut. Thank you very much to Khabib Nurmagomedov for stopping by. Great stuff from him as always. Welcome back, Chael Sonnen. I maintain if he passes that test, that we'll see him back. Thank you very much to Daniel Leith for stopping by. Welcome back to Michelle Watterson. And thank you very much to Michael Venom Page and, of course, Mark Hunt for stopping by as well. Back next Monday, same time and place. Hit us up, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, all that good stuff and more. Until then, say peace.